There are two main approaches to development of urban bicycle network which are often opposed one to each other. One of them places the main emphasis on capital construction of each bike lane with excavators, hundreds of cubic meters of crushed stone and asphalt rollers. Another way is limited to painting markings and icons on existing sidewalks and streets. It is a cheap and easy way to quickly get a sufficiently long bike network that, by the way, risks being awkward and kind of virtual. The construction methods fans usually look down on painted bike lanes, but is it everything so hopeless with it? Welcome to City for All, and today we're gonna talk about creating a new cycling infrastructure. Here is an example of bike path in Lviv, Ukraine. In my opinion, it is one of the best samples in the city. It is straight, it is separated from the roadway by bushes and from the pedestrian sidewalk by young trees. And there is even a bicycle traffic light nearby. Everything looks fine. But the problem is that such a thing cannot appear all over the city at once. The creation of all bicycle network using only this method takes years or even decades. And during this time you cannot hide from sarcastic comments about bicycle paths that start from nowhere and leads to nowhere too. Because from the point of view of everyday user, even the best section of cycling infrastructure looks like a spherical horse in a vacuum if there is a kilometer gaps between different sections. Here is just another one of dozens examples like this. The bicycle path on a recently reconstructed section just ends and then everyone decided for himself how to ride. At the same time, in Pragmatic Germany, you can often find bike lanes simply painted on the existing sidewalks. As an example, the city of Cologne with very active bicycle traffic. It is clear that this is not the top of development, and I am sure that in the coming reconstruction of the street all this will be done much better and more capital. But at this stage, such a cheap solution provides the main thing. It makes the street clear for cyclists and pedestrians and shows how to use it. As a result, even streets that are still waiting for their reconstruction are already working as a part of the bicycle network and are used by cyclists for daily trips. For this case, it is very important to connect different parts of the system, at least by temporary measures. It is very important for cyclists to intuitively understand the logic of movement, so they won't need to improvise at every intersection. This example can't be called a cheap temporary solution, but it's about the fact that the markings clearly show the possible trajectories of cyclists' movement. Of course, sometimes it can look rather ridiculous, but in the long run it allows people to get used to the presence and configuration of bicycle network, build optimal routes for themselves, see possible problems and write about them to the municipality. Accordingly, the city has the opportunity to see possible problems and take them into account during the further capital constructions. By the way, the most massive amount of this kind of fast bicycle infrastructure began to be built all over the world at the beginning of COVID pandemic, in order to give people the opportunity to move around the cities in fresh air by passing crowds. Then in Paris, Berlin and many other cities around the world, dozens of kilometers of such bicycle lanes appeared in a matter of weeks. In fact, this is kind of a demo version of the bicycle infrastructure which should eventually turn into something better. Of course, there may be cases when the existing pavement is so bad that there is nothing to draw even a line on, and then you have to build a new one. But in general, capital construction and painting are not mutually exclusive things, but methods that can and should be used in parallel to achieve the main goal, the most developed and safe bicycle network. And a high-quality bicycle network, in my opinion, is when parents can safely send their child to school or somewhere else on a bicycle, or when you can calmly ride around the city on a thing like this, or with your child behind you without looking extreme at the same time. And that's all for a moment. If you liked this video, please hit the subscribe button and leave your comments below. And also visit our Patreon page where you can support our channel. See you in the next video.